It's late at night, Thanksgiving night, 10:27 p.m. actually, and I was about ready to go to sleep, and I started playing with the energy here. And I typically shine this stuff around the room to see how much more intense I can project this energy that keeps growing in me. I'm a late bloomer. I've said that a few times in my past videos. So right now, everything is coalescing, coming together, and filling in the puzzle of this body mural. How do I describe this stuff? It's like as I've been evolving, I'll evolve here on the left side, your right side as you observe me. I'll it's like a patchwork. I guess that's the best way of saying it. It's like a patchwork or piece of the puzzle. Gradually, the puzzle pieces are putting in place so there's a complete picture. But my body just doesn't evolve all at once or all in major sections or portions. So I've just come to accept that. And as things start to coalesce, come together, I'm more I'm more complete as a metaphysical, what do you call it, mural or something. I, I see this energy different, and this is stuff that you guys can do too. It just takes time to develop in you. When people talk about feeling their balls, they don't feel it like this, okay? That's just a blank projection of energy coming out straight from the palms. When they start to bend the fingers in, that's when you get kind of a shape like this, a saucer bowl, right? How can I do this? I actually need my other hand. Anyway, so yeah, that's right. I'm confusing myself. So this bowl is the shape of the energy emanating from my hand right now. And what I realized was that the energy, I've said this before and Jay has said this, the energy is more intense coming from the fingers and then less intense from the palms. So that's how I can start to see shapes now forming with this energy. Now, if I go like that, yeah, that's how you'll see, um, that's how you can put together a chi bowl. And that would be like this. It's the only bowls I have. So you can put them together like that and form somewhat of a bowl, right? So I don't know if I've characterized my not dispute, but my perspective that going in the past in a video, if it's something I posted as opposed to just keeping it in my archive, if I said something like this, yeah, you can't feel your chi balls, but like that, if you want to characterize it as a chi ball or energy ball, yeah. So I'm just trying to, for whatever reason, correct myself if I've articulated something that is different than what is. And then something else is occurring, I noticed. I listen to music, and there's a term for this kind of ability that people have where they can smell numbers or they can see the shapes of tones. Well, I'm starting to see the shapes of notes when I listen to slower music, not quick, but slower music. I see notes as blocks of different levels in my mind. And if I grab a tone out of a song and and the tone comes up like this at mid level, I can remember it. And the song keeps playing. I can come back and I visualize that block, and I can remember the tone. And what else is happening? Um, I've talked about when I go remote view to Mount Hood. What first senses I have as I visualize it is smell. Unusual, right? Smell and taste. I've recommended that people, when they start to practice their remote viewing, even the seasoned professionals, I don't know of any record where people inject their senses in the remote viewing. They probably do. It's probably in some kind of written text or writing or something that I haven't come across. I'm trying to find that book that I've been reading off and on the gentleman from Stanford. I barely remember stuff these days. Gentleman from Stanford who started really popularizing remote viewing. A book is over there somewhere. In any case, in my reading in that book, he never mentions injecting or using the senses to see what's going on. Rather, it's just seeing shapes and scenarios. In any case, there's something else. I I'm starting to the sh- hear shapes. The title of my channel is Telepathy for the Deaf Blind. Should be deaf and blind, but when I started to understand that in practice, discovering that there is something to quantum entanglement, spooky projection with my hand, I came up with this idea of telepathy for the deaf and blind. And I can actually feel the difference between, I think that's an S and a T and an R. Oh, I can feel the difference in those shapes in my thorax. But I'm also now hearing these shapes as tones. So, and I hear these shapes even above the tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to pronounce it, that exists in both ears. Jay has said that this stuff is related to ETs communicating with us or something, and I've had this, what do you call it, an ailment or something, since 2002. So I guess way back then, someone up there has been trying to reach me or something. But I think it's just interesting to see how, as I mentioned before that, it's everything is in the nuance. Seeing, feeling, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, the nuance that comes out of your body that that you grab and try to cultivate. So these are new areas that I'm starting to experience, and as and something I could cultivate and hopefully bring it more to the surface and grow and all that kind of stuff. And Jay said that we have no idea how many abilities and skills we have. So it's a guessing game actually. What it is we can develop. He's never told us that we can do this, and this beyond conducting remote viewing and astral projection. And I still don't know the difference between astral projection and remote viewing. To me, it's the same. So I've tried looking up the definitions of this stuff, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm probably looking at the wrong material to read. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this into view as I'm quickly falling asleep. I'm watching Blade Runner actually, and with Harrison Ford. Interesting movie. Interesting movie. Um, and if you were to ask what my favorite movie would be, you'd laugh. You'd laugh if I were to tell you Doc Hollywood. Of all things, it's kind of an easygoing film. I don't like. Well, let me rewind. I'm gradually starting to feel repulsed by lots of flurry and dramatic movie sets. I like something that's easygoing. I don't like I don't like this flash stuff. You have a scene every 1 or 2 seconds or something, and as a compilation, this stuff is meant to fluster your head, by the way, if you didn't know that, uh, to 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 confuse your brain. And over a long period of time, I don't know what's going to happen, but who brought that up? That was Alex Jones from Infowars.com. If you ever get a chance to listen to some hardcore Tomorrow's News Today on his show, you might be in for a shock. The things he talks about, particularly the world affairs that are going on right now, we better keep our fingers crossed that we're going to make it out alive. Anyway, I'm drifting off on other topics. So I guess I'm going to sign off and call it a night. Go back to watch Blade Runner. And as I always say, be good, be real good. Okay, have a great remaining Thanksgiving night. Bye now.